All right, round number 2. Get this done real quick. Yeah, we're going to play first again. This looks fine. We get a turn 4 Rumbling Baloth. We get a turn 2 9 Zombie, and we get to go get another Swamp to help set up our Quag Sickness. So I think it's fine. I think I'm just going to fire this this Lay of the Land off right off the top here. Sure, he gets to know he's facing black as well as green. Not a big thing. Ooh, I like that 2-drop a little bit better than the 9 Zombie. This one can actually start attacking. See what he has for his turn 2. Does he have a Tusker? Yeah, he sure does. All right. We have some choices as far as this goes. It gets a little sketchy here. So we want to kill this thing. So one of the options that we have is we can play a Swamp, play Quag Sickness, make it a 1/1, attack him. If he blocks, then it's dead and he doesn't take any damage, but we killed it. If he doesn't block, then he takes 2, we take 1, and then the next turn he gets awkward because we'd like to play another Swamp, which would then kill the Tusker, but we really want to get that Rumbling Baloth going. I think I am going to make this play, though, and try to get rid of this thing now. And if he blocks, and if he doesn't, then actually we'll probably just let it live. Yeah, that's actually better for us unless he can get rid of the Quag Sickness, because I think I'd rather play the Rumbling Baloth next turn and then play the Swamp the next turn to kill the thing. All right, he's going to play his Sliver card. I actually feel like offering this trade. We saw that Bone Scythe Slither in the draft, and this could get out of control. We'll know a lot more after we attack. Let's attack, though. I am going to offer this trade up. Normally I wouldn't. I'd just play the Forest Baloth, go. Then the next turn play the Swamp, take out the Tusker, and then just start sending in the Baloth. But I think I'm going to take a 1-for-1 here if he wants to do it. Also, if he doesn't block, we'll know a little bit more. Yeah, so it looks like he is on some type of a Sliver plan here. So let's get the Baloth in there. Next turn, we'll make sure that we play the Swamp to finish off this Tusker. If he attacks with it, we're not going to block either. All right, he's got a Pacifism. Take 3. Draw. Ooh, Spore Mound. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So that thing dies, and we play a Spore Mound. We've got the 9 Zombie to sacrifice our Rumbling Baloth. We'll get a tiny bit of value out of that down the line. But mainly the 9 Zombie is just going to block these Slivers until he can come up with something to make them a bit bigger and better. I don't love our position here, though. We're basically out of gas. He's got 5 cards in hand. All right, and he's not going to attack. Okay. Yeah, I like that, though. Pretty sure he'd make this trade. I think any of these trades isn't the worst for us, so let's play our land first. If I attack with Spore Mound, he can double block here, and then we trade those off, and he's left with a Sliver, and I'm left with a Root Wallet. Yeah, that seems fine to me. Though we do have 9 Zombie plus Spore Mound. Yeah, so I still think I'm going to do it. We don't have any more lands in our hand, and a Root Wall is going to beat down really hard. Rootwalla. 9 zombie. Okay, so now we're in a position to really beat him down here unless he starts playing some huge stuff. Because Rootwalla on its own is going to be able to get in there. Yeah, here comes some slivers, so this is kind of what I was worried about. But right now it's not really a big issue. Oh, geez, that's a good one. Think I like just sending everybody here, yeah. This attack with everybody. He has no really good blocks. We're going to Briar Pack Alpha whatever he throws in front of this. There we go. Briar Pack. That thing. Oh, I should have pumped. Ugh. Got a little ahead of myself. I can use the mana this turn anyway, so I'm not going to like basically, but I can do this anytime, and I can't do this anytime. So, yeah, missed 2 damage. That's sketchy stuff. Pump. All right, and so we get him anyway, but target loses. All right. But yeah, I just missed that. That was just sloppy. Okay, so what are we doing here? Plummet, no. Naturalize is a possibility, though I don't know. I mean, we've seen a total of the 1 pacifism, and that's not really enough. Yeah, let's just do it again. If he shows us another target for Naturalize, we'll consider bringing it in. But like Deadly Recluse is great against green. It's great against white. Trades for all of their stuff. Plummet's just okay against only white. Green doesn't really have any flyers, so that's not a big issue. Brindleboar is really good against... that's probably overstated. Brindleboar's okay against some of the really aggressive decks. Ooh, we can use this to get him too. Yeah, I'm going to keep this one actually. It's a 2-lander. We got a Lay of the Land as well. And we've got our best defensive creature with Deadly Recluse. Not a great draw there. Your move. As always, 2-landers are a little bit sketchy, but yeah, see, this is a fine one. And hopefully we'll draw a swamp. If we draw a swamp, we're going to be in really good shape. All right, there's the pacifism, so he's getting aggressive. Now we just need lands. Swamp? All right, well, this is a fine land as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything this turn, but once we start laying Giant Spider after Giant Spider, this thing's going to get negated pretty quickly. We're going to take a beating from it in the meantime, though. No doubt about that. And he's got just 1 sliver there. Okay. Still no swamp for us, but Giant Spider, go ahead. Yeah, swamp on any of those last 2 turns would have been awesome. I mean, this is white or green creature card from his deck. That seems pretty good. All right, so no attacks from him. I love that. I think I'm just going to go with the big boy here. Especially because we keep drawing more and more lands. We've already got 5. We've got the 6th in our hand, and that means we're only going to be 2 more away from getting this thing to just nasty status. All right, so this is going to be a Spore Mound land drop. The question is, do I want to send Woodborne Behemoth in and trade for this or this? And the answer is no, not really. I mean, I would like to get this thing off the battlefield, but not that badly. I'm just going to use it as an 8/8 eventually. So let's just go into shields up mode here. Start making some spores and keep hitting our land drops here. We're now one more land in our hand away from getting this thing to 8/8. If we hit a swamp next turn, that would just be sick. We could play swamp, make a Saproling, play Lifebane Zombie, maybe take something big out of his hand, and also play Giant Spider. Swamp? Predatory Sliver. Not bad. We got to be careful. We took the wrath effect that we saw. But he hasn't really done much, and it's a little strange. Can't really assume that he has it as well, but we got to be aware of it at least. With that in mind, I think I just don't need to run out any more dudes here. Spore Mound, have you used up your utility yet where I can just trade for either of these? Think so. I mean, getting more saplings is good, but we're not exactly abusing them. And clearing this thing out of the way means that Woodborne Behemoth gets better. Oh, does he have the double white? What is that thing called? Celestial Flare, Celestial whatever. All right, so now I think I feel like doing the old hand dump here might be better. Yeah, I'm just going to go for it. If he gets us, he gets us. I still have this thing in my hand that can finish a game pretty quickly. But man, next turn could be really nasty for him. If I hit a land drop here, I'm just going to ship everybody. The whole team's coming in. If he attacks with this, then we're like, uh-oh. But like I said, I mean, we opened one of those. There could be another one floating around the draft. It's certainly possible, but I don't mind overextending a bit here. We can really punish him, make him use that thing this turn, which would leave him with 2 cards in hand. It would also mean that him having a follow-up play would be really difficult. And if he doesn't have it, boom, hit him for 100. Looks like he's deep in the tank here. All right, going to attacks. All right, he didn't attack. Let's see what we draw. Ooh, a swamp too. So we play that to make that thing an 8/8 trample. And now let's just send in the team. Maybe he's got a fog or something like that that he doesn't care about. This is a little awkward because if we play it, we can nab something from his hand, which is sweet. But we get to see, but if we see what we don't want to see, then we're all in. Like we have no other plan here. I think this board can win though. What do you got? Rangers Guile. All right, so now we know he doesn't have the Wrath effect because he wouldn't be using up his combat tricks just to get that kind of thing, just to 1-for-1 us. So we can play Lifebane Zombie now pretty confidently. Take away if he has any big follow-up plays here, creature-wise. And also just present just a sick threat. I mean, that represents half of his life total that he can't block, and then all this other stuff's going to come in too. So, all right, so let's see what he's got. He's got an Enlarge and a Giant Growth. All right, so Enlarge obviously not doing anything right now, and the Giant Growth didn't do anything that the other thing didn't do. So he has to top deck something absolutely ridiculous in this spot. He can Enlarge, hit us for 9, take out this, and then just die. He can Enlarge and Giant Growth. That makes it 9, 10, 11, 12. But we do get to block one of it, so it's 11 damage. So he'd need like another Giant Growth. But then he doesn't have enough green mana sources to actually do that because Enlarge costs double green. So that's not going to work either. Ooh, Howl of the Night Pack. That's one of the best possible draws he could have. But I think he's still just dead here. Predatory Sliver doesn't do it. So he goes to 3 here. But he's got to absorb all this damage. He can't even take 3 from this thing. I got to be careful. All right, so we attack with this. That puts him to 3. I attack with this, and he's got to block with at least 3 creatures on it, or else he's dead because he's going to take 3 from that. So let's say he puts all 3 wolves in front of this. If we attack with everything else, then he can like block here, but then he takes 2, 3, 4, so he's dead. So yeah, I think he's just dead here. Wait a second. He's got a Giant Growth. All right, so that changes things. So let's say we attack with everything. Again, Lifebane Zombie brings him to 3. So take this off the equation, and he's at 3 right now. Okay. So he needs to deal with this, and he can't take 3 damage from it. So if he goes block, block, Giant Growth, that's 7. So he takes 1 from this. This doesn't die. And then he can put these on the 2 spiders, and then he's dead. Or he can go block, block, block on this thing and Giant Growth one of them. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this dies, and 2 of these die. 2 of those die. That would leave him 1 blocker, and then he's dead. Yeah, I don't see how he can block here and live. So let's just ship in the team here. The trample's really the big deal here because he's going to lose guys no matter what. Like, the only thing is I don't want to have him untap and kill me with the enlarge, because that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's lethal if he could keep all of his guys, but he can't. Mainly because of this. This puts him at 3 no matter what. And then he's got to deal with everything else. So let's see what he comes up with here. Maybe I didn't see it correctly or something, but if he puts a 2/2 and Giant Growth, he's still dead just to this and this. So that doesn't work. Now, it looks like he's kind of going through the motions here too, but I think we've got him. Thankfully, he's the one that has to figure out the math and not us. Another thing to consider is that we have this Predatory Sliver that we can follow up with as well. So we do have a blocker. So if he blocks like that, he's way dead. Only 1 wolf in front of the Trampler. Even if he pumps the wolf, it's 3 plus 3, and then there's even an extra point of damage, plus all his guys are dead, except for his sliver. So yeah, this isn't going to work. That was a really sick top deck from him, but unfortunately he drew most of his planes. I mean, he could have had, if this was switched, he would have had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 power and toughness off that thing. Off of Howl. Oops. Off of Howl. So good draw, but not the, I mean, he was already so far behind. He's just going through the different iterations to see if there's a way that he can live here. I don't think that there is. He's got 2, 4, and then if he Giant Growths, it's 7, so this gets through for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If he blocks like this and Giant Growths. Which is, I think, the closest he could get. Which was what we came up with, which is chumping both spiders and then double block plus pump the Woodborn. All right, he's trying a whole bunch of different things out, but our calculations say that there isn't a way that he can survive. All right, so he's back to the chump, double stack, pump, but then it's 3, 4, 5. Well, that's definitely not going to do it. Yeah, we know about that. 3 to you. Okay, now I want to look at something real quick, though. This was really the key point in the match was this. Because he had the turn 2 Colonian Tusker, which is a super aggressive start. And we had a Deadly Recluse that was going to just trade for it. It was going to Green Doomblade him. And he decided that he wanted to be aggressive and use his pacifism on it. What we saw, though, and this is the key, and this is a mistake I believe that he made, is that he didn't have a way to back it up, right? I mean, these cards, Ranger's Guile, that kind of stuff, the only thing he could do after was play a Predatory Sliver. And that just wasn't enough. Because if we had anything that could trade or block for his Colonian Tusker, then he uses pacifism on our Deadly Recluse. What ended up happening later in the game is the game goes long, and we have 2 insane threats that his deck has a super tough time dealing with, and now he doesn't have an answer for it. So the question that he faced was, well, am I going to be able to race here? If I pacifism this recluse, am I going to be able to race? And he decided that it was yes, but he didn't have enough creatures to back up that play. So he wasn't able to get through. All right, we'll see you guys in the finals.